Have you recently settled debt on your own and are kind of wondering what does a paid in full letter look like? We're gonna cover that and more, so let's get started. Welcome to Send Finance's YouTube channel, where we cover debt settlement and try to get you out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster. My name is Ben, and I'm one of the co-founders here at Ascend. In this video, I'm going to cover kind of what to look for in a debt settlement paid in full letter. Also, this is not legal advice, but informational only. A lot of this information is based when I used to manage a debt settlement company, so hopefully that's helpful. Now, if you have not settled your debt, but are kind of wondering whether you should settle your debt or what you should do with your debt or pros and cons of your different options, we built this debt resolution calculator that I included a link in the description below. And the calculator's goal is basically to help you just inform you about all your options. It's 100% free. Not even email address is required unless you want to provide it and try to get a little bit more insights. We're happy to help. But the goal is to just help you inform you about how to get a debt cheaper, easier, and faster, the pros and cons, just because we really couldn't find a resource that was unbiased, that would really just be specific to your needs, right? So that's a resource that we provide in the link in the description below. Also, if you like this video, I always love to see likes. And if it's encouraging or you want additional content, we produce this pretty much almost weekly, so please feel free to subscribe, and we're always happy to see you here on our channel. So let's get started. So first things first, and maybe the most important thing, is that you may want to confirm with the collection agency that they will provide a paid in full letter before you actually settle the debt. Now, before you settle the debt and have funds, it may be helpful to have that debt collection agency say that they will provide something in writing. For example, let's say you settle the debt and they're like, okay, I'll take $5,000 for $10,000 in debt, right? Let's get that first letter in writing, and then also confirm that they will get that second paid in full letter in writing, so that if anything ever happens with your credit report that says, hey, this debt is still owed, or like that debt collector sends it to another one, you can send that paid in full letter to the debt collector that now took the debt that you already paid off, right? By having this letter, you have leverage before sending funds, so that you can make sure that when you provide that paid in full, you have that letter, right? So just make sure that you have that, they offer that, right? The second thing is I know this may sound redundant, but getting it in writing as well, like having important documents in writing is always helpful, especially in situations like this. So just for context, like why is this important, right? In one situation, I found that I negotiated and settled an account. Then the original creditor or collection agency sold that and redistributed that debt to another collection agency. Then the new debt collector tried to negotiate on the account, which I'd previously settled, right? While this was a settlement agreement and not a paid in full letter, you can hopefully understand how important it is to get things in writing, because I was able to basically send that to the other one, say, no, you need to abide by that original debt settlement letter, right? I'm gonna put up on the screen kind of an anonymized example of a paid in full letter. And so what verbiage are you kind of looking for when you're looking at that paid in full letter? First, when you're reviewing the paid in full letter from your creditors, be sure to understand everything that's stated, right? If you have any questions about the wording, be sure to follow up with them to make sure that it's clear, right? The biggest thing, right? Does it clearly state that the account is paid off now, right? I have a zero balance, your account is very paid off. So there's really three very important things to look for. The first being, does it say that your account is paid in full? The second thing, does it show a zero balance, right? Does it have a balance that says it's zero, right? Like that's pretty obvious probably. And the third thing is, are there any stipulations, right? Like did you agree to any stipulations, and are those stipulations now met in the letter? And then I think finally, just looking at your credit report, making sure on your credit report is matching what the letter says. Now on the credit report, it may say something like paid, settled for less, but at least it has that marking on the credit report, so that no longer affects you potentially negatively, or maybe it will affect you positively, right? And then communicating that with the credit bureaus if that isn't the case, right? Maybe disputing that line, or you could potentially dispute that line, or if you've settled this account and it's not showing that, and you have something to letter and to prove it, then you can work with the credit reporting agencies and maybe the credit itself or get those all showing properly. So summing it all up, hopefully this video is helpful to kind of understand what to look for in a debt settlement paid in full letter. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. You could also text us or call us at 833-272-3631, and we'd love to talk to you about your situation. Thanks so much for watching.